welcome back to another election season. It feels like only 3 weeks ago that we were voting in the WA state election, but we're back to it with the federal election. We're going to be starting it off. By the way, this is for the federal seat of Fremantle, but we're also going to be discussing the Senate. So yes, first off, we're going to start with the lower house. This is where the government is formed. This is where the Prime Minister's from. So I'm just going to go through the candidates. These 7 candidates will appear on the small piece of paper, and you will number all of them 1 through 7. I'm just going to go through them, explain some of my thoughts, and then we're going to move on to my recommendations for how you should vote. First off, I'm going to talk about Kate Hewitt. She recently ran in the WA state election, but did not win. She did get a sizable margin. She is an independent as well, and she's aligned with reducing cost of living, helping with the housing crisis and the climate crisis. So overall, she's got some pretty good chance of maybe winning, and then some pretty good policies as well. Next, we have Bird John Alexander from the Citizens Party. The Citizens Party are very anti-monarchist. They're Republicans. They're very similar to Labour in some of their policies, but a bit further towards like supporting people and more leftwards in that way. They do believe in some weird conspiracy theories, but overall they're decent. The Australian Labor Party, they haven't been doing very well. They haven't been doing enough, in my opinion. Just lots of inaction on policies that need action, and just never really doing enough, in my opinion. They're right there. The Greens have been doing a really good campaign, in my opinion. They've got some good policies about Medicare, expanding that in terms of dental. Also housing and housing affordability, and then obviously things to do with the climate crisis. They've been also doing some good work on grassroots activism with stuff like the Palestine, and yeah, they're doing pretty well. And then also they've been in a coalition with the Australian Labor Party before, which is what it's likely to happen, and they were really good at dragging Labor more to get stuff done. So yeah, they're pretty good in that way. The Liberals they haven't been running a good campaign, and they haven't been doing out some good policies. Lots of inefficient, uncosted, just stupid policies. Like they're just stupid policies, and then bringing culture war issues that we shouldn't even be focusing on at the moment, and that aren't even relevant, like trying to stop using the Aboriginal flag for parliamentary press conferences, and like it's just stupid, like, and trying to take away abortion rights for women, and trying to make it easier to discriminate against LGBT people. Like, they've just been... Don't vote for the Liberals. Pauline Hanson's One Nation are a bunch of racists, so yeah, don't vote for them. And then you got a Socialist Alliance candidate running in your seat, which I'm pretty excited for. Out of all the parties, in my opinion, the Socialist Alliance is the one that I align most with. They've got really good policies in terms of housing, and then also giving power back to unions so that workers can have more of a say over their working conditions and the third of their life they spend at work. Really good environmental policies in terms of really dealing with the climate crisis, as it is a crisis. Like, people have died because of climate change, like really getting onto that. Yeah, in my opinion, they're really good. So my recommendations, obviously on this little piece of paper for the House of Reps, you have to number all of the candidates. So I would recommend you put a 1 next to the Socialist Alliance candidate, a 2 next to the Greens, a 3 next to the Independent, Kate Hewitt, a 4 next to the Citizens Party, a 5 next to the Labour Party, a 6 next to the Liberal Party, and a 7 next to the One Nation Party. Now we're going to move on to the upper house, also known as the Senate. Now, I use this graphic when informing my parents, or my mum, of how I would vote. So it's a very scientific graph. If I've put red over, I've on the next slide, it's like got what I recommend you do in terms of numbers and everything. But if they're in red, they're crazy, don't vote for them. If they're in yellow, they're all right. And if they're in green, they're good. And if they got 2 green ticks, they're good. So, Great Australia, white supremacists, the Christians, authoritarian theocrats, they're not that great. The Citizens Party, pretty crazy. The Trumpets are patriots, really crazy. Sustainable Australia's got some interesting policies in terms of sustainable economic and ecological development. However, they have very weird views on immigration. The Democrats are pretty good. They used to be a bigger force in Australian politics. They're good on environmental and foreign policy, so they're right. The Libertarians are crazy. The People First are basically white supremacists. The Greens, I've talked about them. They're doing pretty good. I believe they'll do a good job of dragging Labor to get stuff done, or dragging the government to get stuff done. Now, the Fusion Party is a really interesting party where they are a combination of 5 different parties, including the Pirate Party, the Climate Emergency Party, and a few other parties. They've got really good views on the climate crisis and on like economic matters, including like regulation and copyright reform and things like that. They're pretty cool. Socialist Alliance, I've talked about them before. Good policies in terms of housing and unions and making sure that we're paying our public sector people enough, like our teachers and our nurses, making sure that we're taking care of them. Labour, they're all right. They're not doing that great. Legalised cannabis, voting for legalised cannabis, they have the exact same policy as the Greens. They're basically the Greens part 2. And some people might be more inclined to vote for legalised cannabis, so they might actually have a chance of getting in if you vote for them. So it's basically just like voting for the Greens again. Animal justice, same stuff. People might be more inclined. Australia's Voice is a very interesting party. Their leader, Fatima Payman, is a WA senator. She recently was kicked out of the Labour Party for voting to recognise a Palestinian state. Now the Palestinians are currently experiencing a genocide at the hands of Israel, and the Labour Party is doing nothing about it. So she stood up for the people of Palestine and voted to support them, but she got kicked out of the party for that. So she's formed this new party called Australia's Voice. They've got some pretty interesting policies. I just think they're pretty cool. The Liberals, not doing great. The Nationals, not doing great either. And the 2 ungrouped people are not that great. So, my recommendations for voting in the Senate, in the Senate, you only have to number 6 boxes. I'd recommend you number 9, though. So, above the line, I'd put a 1 next to Socialist Alliance, 2 next to the Fusion Party, 3 next to the Greens, 4 next to Australia's Voice, 5 next to Animal Justice, 6 next to Legalised Cannabis, 7 next to the Democrats, and 8 next to Sustainable Australia, and 9 next to the Labour Party. Now, thank you for watching. I appreciate you putting your trust in me to help you decide your vote. Again, if you need a physical printout, I can do that, or you can take screenshots of this slide here and this slide here, respectively. Thank you.